Hi guys, we are still on page 3. We've got this one last example at the bottom that I want to run through and then also give you, talk to you a little bit more about the slopes of positive, negative, horizontal, and vertical lines. So they tell us that the equation of a line, we've got two different equations here, find 2 points on the line, then calculate the slope of the line. So in order to find 2 points on the line, we are going to have to make a t-chart. So for this guy, I'm going to pick any x I want, and I'm going to calculate the y that's associated with him, the output that's associated with him. Now, it says find 2 points, and that's all we need to calculate a slope. So, okay, usually I pick more than 2 just to make sure I'm doing my calculation correctly, and that when I plot it, I get a straight line. But if I were going to only pick 2 points, I certainly would pick 0 for x, because that's going to wipe out that fraction, which would be good. So when x is 0, y is going to be 2. Okay, and then the next point I think I'm going to pick is 3, because the 3, and then if I multiply 1/3 times 3, I'm going to end up with something that's not a fraction, and that's kind of always my goal when I'm in control of picking the points. So if I pick positive 3, I plug in here, negative 1/3 times positive 3 is negative 1. And a negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. So satisfy yourself, you can do that arithmetic. There are my 2 points. I'm going to use the formula because it says calculate the slope, and it doesn't ask us to graph it, so we don't have a graph to do rise over run. So we're going to use the formula. M is equal to y sub 2, comma, not comma, that's an ordered pair. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So if we write our ordered pairs 0, 2, and 3, 1, it may help to go ahead and label the x1, y1, x2, y2, so you don't get your numbers confused. So the slope, m, is equal to 1 minus 2 over 3 minus 0, right there, which is negative 1 over 3. So his rise is 1, his run is 3, and he's falling from left to right. You can tell a lot about what that line's going to look like by just knowing what the slope is. Let's look at this one over here. He's going to be really easy to pick some points for, because it doesn't matter what we pick for x, y is always 4. So there are my 2 points. And I can pick anything I want for x. So if I pick 0 and I pick 1, I'm good to go. I've got my 2 points. Let's see if I can put them down here. 0, 4, and 1, 4. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'm ready to calculate, and the formula, of course, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And when we plug it in, we get y2, which is 4, minus y2, which is 4, minus y1, which is also 4. And then for the x's, we get 1 minus 0. So, of course, anything with a 0 in the numerator is going to end up with a slope of 0. And we know that a slope of 0, back from our previous video, a slope of 0 is going to be a perfectly horizontal line. Okay, one more thing before I end this graph. I want to draw a picture for you that was helpful to me, and you may or may not like it. These things like Land of Gore and Dollar Ribbit and stuff, they're all just tools and tricks. If they work for you, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. I am not going to ask you to memorize this slope man's face, but here he is. If it helps you, great. So there's his head. So here's one eyeball. It is starting low and rising up. He's positive. Here's the other eyeball, or eyebrow, however you want to look at. He's negative. because he starts high and falls. His nose is a perfectly vertical line, and it's undefined. And his mouth is a perfectly horizontal line, and his slope is 0. So if this little sketch helps you remember that a horizontal line has a slope of 0, a vertical line has an undefined slope, if I made that look like a U, a positive slope rises from left to right, and a negative slope falls from left to right. So if that helps you, great. If not, you're not responsible for knowing it. Thanks for watching. We'll come back and pick up on the next page.